your cowboy shit.
From the Brahma Boot Studio, I'm Ted Stovin, and I've got two special co-hosts this week. Once again, for the last, I want to say a few weeks in a row here, it's James Foley,
Yeah.
Foley Buck and Bulls.
How's it going?
How many weeks we got on the go here now,
I don't
James?
know. It's got to be three at least.
Yeah, we got
Three,
quite the
three.
streak going.
Yeah.
And
Things are getting serious.
and and I asked him a few weeks ago. I was like, "Would you be interested in maybe doing this, jumping on the show with us once in a while, and having a BS?" And I saw he was at the World Finals this last weekend, but he's the co-founder of Bull Bustin' Inc. and the CEO, along with the 1983 champion of the world. It's Cody Snyder. Thanks for joining us too, Cody.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ted.
So let's jump right into it first. Do we want to go World Finals, or do we want to talk about Foley's depression of the Leafs losing again?
I think it's a lot of depression. Go to the World Final.
We'll circle back to the Leafs in a bit. Cody, so you're at the Bull Riding Hall of Fame with your good buddy Aaron Seamus getting inducted this year. You said Cody Hancock was there. They inducted Blue Stone, posthumous. I don't know how to say that word right now. But
Posthumously, Blue passed away a couple of years ago. So yeah.
And Flint.
Yeah, it was really good. Mike Bandy. What's that? Go ahead.
Like, I think was Flint Rasmussen there getting inducted as well, or was it Tandy Freeman too? Like, it was quite the list of crew this year.
Yeah, it was a good bunch. It was quite exciting. Mike Bandy, who I've known Mike for a long time, and his brother Mo Bandy. Mo was there, and it was pretty cool. It was a well done event once again. Donnie Gay and Pam Earnhardt Minnick MC it, and they do just a fabulous job. So it lots of laughs, and everybody had a good time, and it was pretty cool. My one of my best friends, Aaron Seamus, we stayed pretty tight ever since we even quit riding bulls, and it was good. So Rhonda and Reese and her fiance Carter came down as well, and we went to it, and it was good. It was good to support Aaron, and it was good to see him get inducted.
Who puts that on, Cody? Because didn't you get inducted into that the year before?
Yeah, a couple of years ago I got inducted. The people who they run it, Bill and Tammy. Oh geez, I can't remember Bill's last name. I'll think of it, but they run it, so it's well done. And then the all the pictures, like the plaques that you receive for being inducted, they're all displayed over in the Cowtown Coliseum. So it's never going to really go away. I mean, it's kind of a different way of doing it. They don't really have a museum like you would say per se, but it's they've got a really kind of cool way of doing it over in the Coliseum over there. So it'll keep on rolling and rolling, and it's pretty neat.
Do they do that the same time as the perf of the Saturday night of the World Finals? Is that kind of overlapped, or is it a different time of the day, or what's the timeline on it?
Yeah, no, the induction is in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. So we didn't go to the bull riding on Saturday night. We went out for dinner and kind of celebrated Aaron's, being inducted. So it was pretty cool. And his family was there as well. So his family and Rhonda and I and Reese and Carter, and we all kind of hung out together, and it was pretty cool to get to be around Aaron's mom, and she's 82 years old and just a fire plug. It was pretty fun, and his sister was there and his brother-in-law. It was a neat deal.
Isn't Aaron from California? Am I remembering right?
Yeah, California's from Auburn, California originally, but he lives in Brock, Texas now, just outside of Weatherford. So I've been going and staying. I go and stay with him. We've stayed really tight. We've stayed in close contact ever since I met him in 1988. I think it was 89. Been a long time ago. So yeah, he's been there for like 15 years. So it's pretty cool going hang out with him, and you never know who you're going to run into around that town, that Weatherford stuff, Tallman, and there's just tons of people living around there. It's a pretty cool place.
Oh, right on. Well, and then talk about like Foley. Have you been to the World Finals at Arlington? Have you been to that one yet?
No, I haven't.
You would have been to the World Finals in Vegas before.
Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, with some
Vegas.
with the futurity stuff at the South Point.
Yeah.
But been and saw T-Mobile, so you saw what that finals was like.
Yeah, and seeing it at the Thomas and Mack.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, Thomas and Mack, then T-Mobile,
Yeah. And Cody,
and
you
then
would
now
have
AT&T.
at AT&T, and Cody, you would have seen it back to like the MGM, and because you were judging it when it was at the MGM and like Caesar's Palace and Mandalay, probably like you've seen probably almost every venue the PBR World Finals has ever been in.
Yeah, I think I probably have now. Yeah, I judged it accidentally in one of them like 93 or 94. And then it was kind of crazy. I was standing on the back of the chutes and that bull, one of them bulls ran over top of Butch Kirby and wiped him out. And Lambert come running over to me and said, "Hey man, you want to judge?" And I'm like, "Well, all right." So this is like 10 bulls into the first perf. So I end up I end up judging it, and then I end up judging. Geez, they wanted me to. Then I kept judging off and on for about 3 or 4 years. They kind of wanted me to keep doing it. I judged the finals, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. So
Oh, dang.
yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I've been to T-Mobile. The MGM was really cool venue. I love that venue. It was pretty neat. It reminds me a lot of what we have at the Sultana out here at the Gray Eagle with our event, because there's, in the MGM, you were all right in the arena. You had the casino there, you got the hotel there, everything was all under one roof. So it was a pretty cool venue.
Dang. Well, and so tell us about AT&T though, because you would have went to like you must have flown in Friday at noon or maybe Thursday night, go to Kid Rock's rodeo Thursday night, which is totally throwing rodeo on its head kind of thing. It's a totally new setup, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I flew in there last Monday, hung out with Aaron for 3 days at his place, and we went around, and we actually went to the Ride for Redemption. I believe it was at the Cowtown Coliseum on, when did we go there? Wednesday. And then Thursday, Rhonda and them flew in. Friday, we went to Kid Rock. Saturday was the induction, and then yesterday, we went to AT&T to the World Finals.
And what'd you think of the PBR finals at AT&T? Like I saw parts of it, saw parts of all 3 days, and it looks like one of the biggest crowds in bull riding. Like there'd be nothing quite like it anywhere else that I could dream up. And it might only be half of that AT&T stadium, but it's still probably 35,000 people. I don't know what the attendance would be, but it's probably a pretty large amount.
Yeah, it's a big amount. I don't know for sure what it is. I don't think it's that, but it's I think for Kid Rock, I asked one of the ushers for Kid Rock, and they said there was 17.5. So there's some, I don't know what there was. There were probably for the finals 20, right around 20, probably 25. It's a really cool venue, and just the big screens, and just to be in Jerry's house like that is a huge thing for the PBR and for the sport of bull riding and for Western sports as a whole. They do those, in the afternoon, like I think, Saturday afternoon, they had a women's world championship stuff in there. There's all kinds of things going on in there. And then, to have the world finals and have the biggest spectacle in professional bull riding happen right there in the AT&T it's huge. And it's a pretty cool setup.
And how about Jose Vitor Leme? Like Foley, what do you think of this guy? He's a three-time world champion now. Like do you think he could ride any bull in the Foley pen?
Oh, he's hammering every lefty I got. Like,
What
I
about the
mean,
righties?
he'll probably hammer every single one. Like Craig Hummer said, and Cord too on the broadcast, like the guy's got to be in the GOAT talk now. He's like he's getting up there PBR wise, 3-time champ. Only two other Brazilians have done it. Like, man, he showed up. Like
And
that
ho-
guy's a deal.
and how about the season? Like he won $2.1 million on the season, like 2.15, and that doesn't include sponsorship, endorsements, or anything he won in the teams. So he's at least 2.4 with the money from the teams, and then you count whatever else he's making from Monster or whoever else he's endorsed by. Like it's a pretty unbelievable season. Wherein, I think the high water mark before was maybe like 1.8 or 1.9. But 2.1, like I think he won 800 and some thousand the week in Fort Worth, Cody, wasn't it? Like between the first weekend of the finals, he won 197,000, and then he won 632 on like on Sunday afternoon, yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, it's really something. Those numbers are staggering, and it just keeps growing. I mean, you know, you like to say sky's the limit, and I hope it is. It's fantastic to see that a guy can win that kind of money. That's life changing. I mean, in this sport, it might not be team sports, it's not football and that, but there's a lot of golfers, I'll tell you, that would like to win $2.5 million in a year, pro golfers. It's a lot of money. And it's grown, like you said, with his endorsements and everything else. It's huge, but he's a step above everybody else. I mean, James, when you say it, he showed up and showed out or whatever, however they want to
Yeah.
say it. That guy can ride, and he rides everything. He rides them away from his hand. He rides them, rides everything into his hand. And a couple of years ago, his groins were kind of shot. Like I didn't think the guy was going to last. You could watch the way that he walked out of the arena, and he could barely move. Like his legs were stoved up, and he was hurting. But man, he went and got healed up, and he came back. And boy, I mean, I'll tell you, the guy in the most shock in the whole world of bull riding right now is Dalton Castle. I mean, he had that thing won. Would he lose it by like 40 points? All he had to do was stay on one more bull, and he just didn't do it. And Lemmy did, and you can't take that away from him. He doesn't choke. He's got, the guy has a special talent, and it's really good to see. And he's got some stiff competition like that. That Brady Field, that guy can ride too. That Aussie man, he's the real deal
Oh,
too. There's some guys riding bulls really good, and the other kid, that Hudson Bolton that won the Rookie of the Year, he's another one. Like, he came from nowhere, and that kid can flat do it too. Watch out for him. There's some good young guys that are coming up that ride rank bulls and ride them pretty much every time.
Foley, you had something you wanted to put in there.
no, well, just talking about Lemmy, like in your opinion, Cody, like when you watch a guy that like he's just mechanically so sound, he doesn't even look like he tries half the time, and then that last pick of his when he picked the bull that he rode, it was like he already knew, like I'm going to be a minimum 88.5 to 90 on this bull. Like it was all business.
Yeah, and that's how he is, and that's Brazil though. The Brazilians are all business, and he's really something. And like I said, come back from those injuries like he did, and I mean, geez, he missed half or three-quarters of the year. I mean, all them other guys had all those events. To come and do that and just jerk the rug right out from everybody else. Like, he was the last guy that I think a lot of them guys even had on their radar. And for him to do that, he's just an exceptional talent, and he's definitely, he's the best going right now, and if he can stay healthy for a few more years, I mean, he could definitely win the world a time or two more.
And I gotta ask what you guys think now. Foley, go first here, but like, are we? How much of a difference is it now with the team season and the world title race? It's kind of like it's fractioned off again a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit. They're like, we had Sean Gleason on a couple weeks ago, and he said the world title race was never going away. That's what he says. I wonder what you guys think of that. Like, there's it's more condensed season. Some guys are going only one or the other, but Lemme maybe he rode way fewer bulls. He made the ones that he needed to make count when they needed to. But I'm just curious what you guys think about that. Like, it's not taking anything away from the guy, but he's the best right now anywhere, and he's won over $8 million now in the PBR, which is staggering. Mooney was first until yesterday, but what are you guys' thoughts on that side of things? Bully, you're first.
I don't know. I think I was actually hoping we were going to ask Cody this because, like, Dalton Castle rode that bull for 90 and a quarter or 91 and a quarter, whatever it was, his last bull.
Mm-hmm.
got off, had about a 10-second celebration that he was just went
There's
90,
no
and then
celebration.
stormed off pissed
Oh,
off.
he
You know
knew
what I
it.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? And I think that if they were to take away the world championship and just went to teams, I think they'd lose a lot of riders, because I think it's a solo sport at the end of the day, and that world championship I think means way more than a team championship to a lot of those guys. Like, I think if they had to choose one or the other, I think most of them would choose a world championship rather than team. But
Well, what I would say is money talks and BS walks. They put enough money up and they get paying these guys enough for the teams, and
yeah,
they're really liking it. See, I've been on both sides of it. I was on the teams, the Winston Cups, in 80, what was it, 85 and 86, and we were teams, and it was still every one of us talked about it that was ever on those teams. They were called outfits, but it was the coolest experience. We were guaranteed money. We were getting appearance money every time, and it was a game changer for the side. Like those guys, like you look at Cooper Davis, like Cooper's going strictly teams. There's a bunch of those guys are going strictly teams, and I think if there it gets to enough money, I'm and this is none of my business. I mean, it's all speculation, and we can just talk about it. But I think that probably standalone UTB events will keep going, because I mean they're filling buildings and selling a pile of tickets, and they're making the PBR is making money on both sides of it. So, but I think and I hear what you're saying, James. I think some guys, it just depends who they are, and everybody thinks different. Some guys like
yeah,
the individuality, and other guys like the team aspect. But yeah, when you're guaranteed money, I mean, this is Ted. We like to golf, right? It's live golf. Live golf came. What happened? Those guys are guaranteed, $1 million. They're going to play on teams they've never played on teams. I was actually just this afternoon. I was reading a post by Brandel Chambly, and he is just dead against the live concept. And I get it both ways, but when you're guaranteed that kind of money, and you're growing, and a team is growing, and with these, in a PBR, it's cities. It's not just teams. It's cities behind these teams. Um, this thing is going to get really big, and money's going to talk. I think money will talk when you've got agents involved, and you've got owners, you've got general managers, you've got coaches involved. They want to keep their guys sound and healthy. Um, who knows? I mean, time's going to tell. I'm curious to see what happens, but all that I want to see is I just want to see what's best for the bull riders and stock contractors. Everybody, the more money that gets around, the more that everybody gets paid, and that's a great thing. That's what you want to see.
I don't have the stats in front of me, but what did you make the year in the PRCA money won when you won the world in '83, Cody? I want to say it was like 110,000. I can't remember right now, or 95,000 or something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I think it was 110 or 15, but and then with the money, the exchange on the money, like it's 150, 160,000 bucks. That was a lot of money back then. Like, I, years over, you got 100 grand in the bank. You think you're never, I mean, you're worth more money than the world. I mean, it's crazy. But now and you put it into comparison, 100 grand back then is like a $500,000 now, and there's not a lot of guys still winning $500,000 right now, and especially in the rodeo business. But it no it every year, and you look at all of it. I mean, not just the PBR, PRCA, with Cowboy Channel and everything that's going on. I mean, it's going to take probably 20% more to make it to the NFR this year than it did last year in almost every event. So it's growing everywhere, and it's great to see guys making enough money to make a heck of a living and really own things when they're done.
The other question I had was, how do the teams in the PBR make money though? I wasn't sure on that side of it. Like,
Sell tickets.
I think the PBR
Yeah.
is getting the ticket
I don't
revenue
know.
off
I don't
maybe.
know that.
I think
Well,
one of
there's
the
got to
only,
be ticket revenue.
pardon?
Do you ever think that teams like money revenue wise turns into like where the UFC where you know what I mean the UFC at one point in time every fighter could wear their own shorts with their own logos and get that money, and then the UFC was like, hey, we're signing, we're signing Ariat or we're signing Wrangler, and everybody on these shoots wears Wrangler,
Yeah.
and this is the patch that you get. And the teams way they can actually do that by each team, because if you look, each team jersey or each they all have different company names on them. So maybe that's where the company, like the owner, can generate some revenue in that advertising owning that team. But then you're taken away from the Cowboys because they're not able to wear their own stuff to promote their own contracts.
But that's where they get the
Yeah. I mean,
guaranteed money from the teams.
yeah, but at
Yeah,
the end of the day, nobody's investing money into a team if they're not going to get a return on their investment. I mean, these guys are
yeah,
I talked to Bo Davis. There's 9 billionaires involved in the teams. I mean, that's huge. There's a big difference between a billionaire and a millionaire. I mean, you got some guys with a lot of money involved in this, like Michael Dell. Dell Computers is involved in it. What's his name from uh, Bass Pro Shops?
Johnny
Johnny
Morris.
Morris. I mean,
yeah,
there's very, very wealthy people. Those guys didn't get wealthy from not making money. They started this team's concept to make money. That's business. And
yeah.
you're selling tickets, you're selling merchandise. You're I don't know how big it can get, because I don't know how many times that bull riders. I mean, this you can't have 82 games a year like a hockey, but I don't know what the end goal is for that. But everybody's in business to make money.
I was curious what we thought on that side of it. I hope for the good of the sport, the entirety of bull riding, then it works out. Cody, the one thing more thing I got to ask on the World Finals side. Uh, well, two more things, I guess. We haven't talked Kid Rock a ton yet, but the sorry, we better talk Kid Rock because I forgot what I was trying to say. But talk about that event a little bit and just kind of the throwing a new spin on the rodeo world with the head-to-head matchups and just what was it last week we had I talked with Luke Branquino on the show, and he told me a little bit about what was going on with him being the commissioner and whatnot, being part of one of the different teams I think the year before. But what was that experience like, being in the stands and watching that thing and being there for it?
Well, it's really cool. I was at it last year for the first one, and it was much, much better this year. Like last year, well, Aaron's place is about an hour and a little better than an hour away from there, and I got home at 3 o'clock in the morning, so it went way over. The rodeo was really long. It was this year they fixed it, and it was very well done. The thing was over. I think it was about 3 hours long, and then Kid Rock played. It was great. Last year he played 3 songs. This year he did almost like a whole concert. It was really cool. And from the rodeo side of things, actually the time events are awesome because they go head to head. Like in the ride events, they don't, you don't have two barebacks and two broncs coming out at the same time. So when you have this countdown system of these lights that go, I can't remember the wording they say. We're in spectrum or whatever, and it starts making these noises, and then the lights come on and it goes red, and it goes red, 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 yellow, 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 green, and then they go, and it's all timing. And if you're like in the bulldog and you've seen some of the bulldogging horses, I mean, they can get really stupid in there, and I mean they might be turned around backwards and that thing turns green. You're hooped. But it was cool. And the one great one, Dakota Eldridge. I mean, he ran. I'm sure if you've seen on TV. I mean, the crowd went berserk. It was so cool. He that steer got away and ran off and down around the corner, and he chased him down and gets a hold of him, and then he does a hula hand, and gets a hold of him with his left arm and throws him down left-handed, like, and the crowd just went nuts. It was really cool. And like in the like in the tie down rope, and it was, I mean, them guys are head to head. People loved it. It was cool, and and it's just, what do they call it? Kid Rock Rodeo reimagined, and they've got a great concept there, and yeah, it was cool. They had good guys. They need to try to get really good horses, though. It's hard to get really good buck horses down there. If they could get some of the Calgary Stampede horses down there, and really where those guys and best guys can showcase themselves. But it was cool. It was really well done. Concert was awesome.
But it was a neat show to go and see the head to head side of it. Like, I don't know. I was talking with Luke and I was like, how the heck do you guys do this anywhere else but your own shows? And I asked Gleason, I was like, is there more of a Kid Rock tour like in the works? But that's kind of the only place that kind of thing could happen. Like, do a tour of those shows. That's the only way you can keep it going, because you're not going to have the NFR go head to head. I don't think. It'd be kind of cool. Change it up, but it's probably not going to happen.
Like, they have to make that arena everywhere, so.
Yeah, right. It's probably unlikely to happen many other places, unfortunately. Like, it's such a cool concept, but it's probably not going to happen many other spots, eh, Cody?
With the Kid Rock?
Yeah.
Actually, Kid Rock wanted to take this across America. That was the business plan last year. Like, he's I just remember at the start of it, like, Donald Trump comes on the screens and does a message, man. And that place went berserk. This is Donald J. Trump. And it was really cool. Like that. I mean, them people went berserk in there. And Kid Rock's trying to take this, the cowboy and Western way of life, and everything about it. And Trump's behind it. Like, Trump's talking about the Western way of life and everything. Like, I know that there was talk last year that Kid Rock wanted to take this to Detroit and maybe Indianapolis and some other cities. So, I mean, the concept is fantastic, and I mean, I don't know if they can make it work, but that was the talk. So it's really cool. I mean, it could work anywhere.
Is it actually Trump in the video, or is it AI? Did they fake it? Is it really him?
No, it was him. No, it was him. Him and Kid Rock are buddies. I mean,
Oh, no shit.
Kid Rock, and that guy don't mess around. He's all business too. I know a little bit of stuff about that guy, and Trump. It was a good message. It was like it was a minute to minute and a half probably of solid. Good to see everybody here in Dallas, Texas, and rock and roll with Kid Rock, and the rodeo is a great American sport, and blah blah blah. It was pretty cool. It was well done.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, I hope for the sake of rodeo that kind of, like, what a great ambassador for the sport to have. Well, two great ambassadors, the president of the United States of America, and having Kid Rock going in being part of the sport. I think it's really cool, and to have a new concept. Like, there's been a few different concepts over the years. The ERA and the WCRA is part of this, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff as well. But this one's a totally new piece. I think it's super neat.
It is, but they had that concert deal in Phoenix. And when was it? In March?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hondo Fest, and the deal that those guys are doing down in San Diego. I mean, there's some other big concepts going into some big arenas and stuff going on out there. So
That's
yeah,
true.
who knows? I mean, the Western sport businesses, there's nothing hotter right now. I mean, you look at these rodeos. I mean, I flipped on Falkland just on the Cowboy Channel, and that place was jammed out there. I mean, they're getting huge crowds everywhere. I've seen the Cloverdale are talking they're going to sell it all 4 performances. I mean, rodeo in the Western way of life is doing very, very good right now, and this is gonna last for a long time, I think, and it's great. And with Yellowstone and everything that's gone on, and with the Cowboy Channel, and it's exposed the lifestyle to so many more people, and people are coming out, and they're liking it, they're enjoying it, and they want to, you can watch it on TV, but you're not getting the same experience. And to go to all these events, I mean, numbers don't lie. I mean, look at all them rodeos. You watch all the stuff, and the bull riders have been on the Cowboy Channel. they're full. Everywhere is jammed, and it's great to see.
What about Neal McDonough? Neal McDonough's on the show this week. I recorded a bit with him on maybe Wednesday or Thursday this week, but he was at the World Finals. I didn't realize this, but he's a part owner of the Austin Gamblers too. But had his movie The Last Rodeo is coming out on May 23rd. This Friday is Memorial Day weekend in the U.S. But he must. I think he was chugging beer there on Saturday night. Maybe that wasn't Sunday. Maybe he missed the perf. But I thought you might have seen Neal
Yeah.
there.
No, I did see him. He was there. I seen him there on Sunday, and then yeah, and Rip, what's his name off of
Cole Hauser.
Yellowstone? He was there on Cole Hauser. He was there on Sunday, and they did a really big cool thing with him. And yeah, no, them guys were around, and it was pretty cool. There was some WWE superstars around there, and UFC Cowboy Snyder was over there on the stage, and yeah, it was cool. They're getting a great crossover of not only just general public coming, but there's a lot of people from a lot of other pretty cool sports coming out and getting interested in it.
Was Cole half in the bag on Sunday? He looked like he was tanked when he was up on the stage.
Did he? I don't know. I can't say that. Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I didn't get down there and hang out with him, so
I'm like, that guy's celebrating the win.
What about
what
about your Toronto Maple Leafs, Bully? Do we want to talk about this at all? Is it too soon, or
that's hockey, man?
Yeah,
that's hockey. I think, man, they didn't deserve to win. Florida was a better team. Florida is an absolute wagon. I think they roll Carolina, and then hopefully play the Oilers in the final again. I think that's going to be the final, Florida Edmonton.
What do you think, Cody? What would your advice be to the Toronto Maple Leafs? I think there's two messages here. What would be your pregame message, and what would be your postgame message for those guys?
Take the C off the guy you've got it on and put on somebody else. Have you read Mark Messier's book?
No, I haven't.
You need to read it. James, have you read it? Mark Messier's book?
No, but I met Mark's brother, and they're exactly alike. So I could imagine what his book says.
The book explains what it takes to win the playoffs, to win the cup. Mark Messier, I loved it. It was one of the best sports books. I loved it. And he talks about what it takes to win, and it takes massive leadership and all that stuff. And I think we lost it again. We still on?
No, we got you.
Yeah, and the leadership that it takes, and you need a leader. Who's a better leader, Jamie Benn or Austin Matthews or almost any? He just doesn't, and that's just me personally. I just don't think the guy's got the leadership skills that it takes to take guys across. I guess you want to say it, the Great Divide, because that's kind of where they're at right now. I mean, they're so snake that they to win, and Messier explains it so good in that book. And he was, as good a leader as ever been in the NHL. I mean, they still talk about his leadership skills, and you gotta have a guy that they can crawl on his back and not just lead by example, but lead the team. And that's his personal opinions. I mean, I'm sure everybody's got some opinions on it. Everybody's going to take the blame right now, but it's too bad. You'd sure like to see them for the sport. It would be really good to see Toronto in there.
I'd love to see Toronto Edmonton in the finals still someday, but I'm with you. But I didn't watch a ton of it, but to see the clip of Marner yelling at the bench, like, you can't be fighting against yourselves and expect to win that game, right?
I think Mitch was yelling at, like, he clearly says, "Wake the fuck up," and he's saying it like you're getting paid $11 million a year to play hockey, right? The expectation is to win in Toronto. They gave Matthews a C, who I've never played with Austin Matthews. Who knows? Maybe he is an absolute unreal leader, but is he a guy on that team that everybody's going to go to war for? Like, you got to show passion. You know what Mitch Marner did? He's showing passion. The guy's probably playing in his last game he'll ever play as Maple Leaf. He's going to sign somewhere else. He would have to, unless they trade Matthews. But they have to do something in Toronto because it's every year. They've won 2 series in the last 20 years. Buffalo hasn't made the playoffs in 14 years, but they've won more series than Toronto. Like,
Wow.
Toronto's a hot dumpster fire right now. And like you said, I just like Cody said, man, I don't think Austin Matthews is a leader. They got skill. They got a lot of skill, but you know, people say, oh well, Stoller's got hurt and blah blah blah. No, they played a tough team, and they're stars. The star, the guy who's supposed to be your best player on the ice, had 1 freaking goal. Like that's you know what I mean? It's like McDavid. If the Oilers played a series and McDavid had only 1 goal, oh, Oiler fans would be irate. You guys are already shitting on Stu, and he went back-to-back shutouts. You know, that's what the Toronto needed something like that. We couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But
no, and, you know, and I would, you know what, and I'll say this: I'm not from a team sport guy. I rode bulls, and I'm individual, and I always rate bull riding. It's like PGA golf or tennis. It's an individual sport. It's not a team sport. And with reading Messier's book and really fully kind of now understanding what it takes, and what I got from that is there's a big difference between being a captain and captaining throughout the year and get them, you know, you can, but and good enough to get them there, but to get them over that hump to win a Stanley Cup, you better be a freaking wolf. And I just personally, what else are you going to look at, James? It sounds like you're just a massive Leafs fan. It just makes you sick to see this guy and see that, you know, that team not make it.
well,
But
I'm not a diehard, but yeah.
You know,
I agree with I am a fan though, and fan enough to be like, okay, like I don't. When the Toronto makes the playoffs, it's like, yeah, we'll get ready for the chirps are coming after Series 1. But yeah, like it's the expectation. I don't care who you are, you know what I mean. If you're not passionate, like they come out Game 7, which they were flat as all heck, like. You should be able to run through a wall of fire after, you know, your pregame getting pumped up, getting all the boys rallied, and then they come out and just get the wheels beat off them 6-1. At least they didn't have to fly home. They got to drive home.
Yeah. I'll bet you they wish they'd have got to fly home. And I'd be scared to drive home in that town right now if I was one of them guys. Holy man. Yeah.
Huh.
Tough go. And then Winnipeg. They lost out. Now it's
How
up
about
to the
that?
Oilers.
How about them? How about the Medicine Hat Tigers?
Yeah.
See that?
Hometown team, Cody. Big win.
Yeah, and I've known Daryl. Daryl Mazer owns a team, and we box together. I've known him since I was a kid. The family. That's so huge for that town. And what they say, like Tim Hunter used to play Flames. He said that they're going to be better next year. Like this isn't. They're going to culminate better next year, and because they're going to have that McKenna on there. They got him for next year again, and he is just something. So Medicine Hat, I was down there. When was I down there 10 days ago? And it is just, the town is berserk. And so, you know, to see what hockey does, the sport does for towns and cities in this country is, you know, it just brings everybody together. And it's so great to see what it does it changes people's lives. It is huge what it can do. And, you know, we've seen it here with the Flames, how many times. We haven't seen it a whole bunch of times either, but to see what it does. And my point was, it's not only NHL, but you get, you know, playing the WHL. It's just as big in those smaller centers like that. It's a huge deal.
Well, now they're going to the Memorial Cup for a chance to win the entirety of the CHL. So best of luck to Medicine Hat.
Yeah.
Cody, hope your hometown team can pull it off. And I think Rimouski, Quebec was the tournament, right?
Yeah, they're the tournament host. Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. Well, do you guys do we have anything else before we get to the show? We got more top of the show than we do actual interview this week, but this has been a lot of fun to catch up with you guys. Thanks for giving us the lowdown from the World Finals and Kid Rock show and the Bull Riding Hall of Fame, Cody. And once again, we never really talked about it yet, but Bull Bustin' for 2025. It's a 5-day show, July 1st to 5th, and it's already all sold out. You just got a couple of. Do you have all the Sky Suites sold out already too now? Like no, there's no tickets to
No,
be had,
we've
right?
got a few of those left. Yeah, there's no tickets. And they're corporate Sky Suites, so we've got the phone's ringing off the wall and people are reaching out on them. Yeah, for our capacity for what we've got nothing left. So it's exciting. It's going to be a big year.
Boy, look forward to it. And fully we're getting into a busy time of the year here for the bull riding side of things for you too, right? What's your next couple weeks look like?
Yeah, we go see Travis James on Saturday in Edson for his Mustachio Buldachio. So we'll go there and then Meadow Lake. And then I don't know where after that. I got to look at
Look
I
at the
just
schedule.
planned 2 weeks ahead. 2 weeks ahead.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, and I'm going to Winnipeg to see Graham from Brahma Boot. We're gonna get around to golf in Friday morning. I fly out there to Winnipeg Thursday night, and we got the Brandon PBR Canada Cup Series show Friday, Saturday this week, and then go right to Grand Prairie for the Stampede. So that's the next couple weeks, and Rocky Mountain House, London, Ontario, as well in there. So before we talk to y'all again, we'll be on the run. So thank you guys both for joining us, though. Thanks for doing this today.
Thanks, Eddie. Thanks, Cody.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Hey, no worries. Well, once again, from the Brown Boot Studio, our interview with Neal McDonough is next. Thanks for joining us once again. This is Cowboy Shit. I'm Ted, joined by James Foley, Cody Snyder. Thank you guys both, and we'll see y'all in a couple weeks. Perfect. All right, from the Brown Boot Studio, my name is Ted Stoven, and this morning we have a very special guest. He's got a movie that's coming out on May 23rd. It's called The Last Rodeo, and the first clip I saw of it was pretty awesome. Had world champion bull rider Daylon Swearingen in it, and this guy, Neal McDonough. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
So you got to tell me how this movie came to be, and how the heck did you end up casting Daylon to be in it? That was a stroke of genius.
Daylon was just awesome, first and foremost. I mean, who doesn't love Daylon? He's such the guy's guy. He's a great God-fearing young man, and he works his butt off to be the best that he can be. And to have him on as my rival nemesis, we purposely didn't want Billy Hamilton, the character, to be kind of a jerky character. We want to be able to have some swagger, but we want to be just a good rodeo guy. Because I haven't met one bull rider who's a jerk. They don't have them. They don't build them that way. They're all in it together. It's this bizarre brotherhood that they all have. That if one guy falls, they always say fall gently. For the bull riders, that if somebody falls, there's all the other riders in competition helping them up, dusting them off. Come on, you got it next time. You got it. You got it. Or if a guy gets the 8 seconds and has a beautiful ride up at 90, they're cheering him on. What other sporting event? And Daylon's there right in the middle of all of it. But what other sporting event has that? It's such that every PBR event opens up with a prayer and ends with a wild cheer. And everyone in the whole arena is hoping for each guy to get to 8 seconds. So it builds this sense of positivity around the event, where it's grandparents and kids and everyone's all in it together, like a big family unit going to see something great together, where they know nothing. You don't have to cover ears or cover eyes or worry about bad language or worry about guys getting in fights in the stands. It's pure Americana at its best. And I think The Last Rodeo, the film, really captures that, in that we're all in it together. And when we are our best versions, great things happen. When we have faith in him, great things happen. But when we lose that faith and we make it about ourselves, we struggle. And that's what the film's really about.
How did you get involved in this family, Neal? Because I want to say now, like you're in it now. You're part of the crew. You must be connected with JJ Gotch somehow, or may have been before. I don't know the connection there, but I've seen you in some awesome Gamblers gear and in some pictures with that crew. But how'd you get into this family? Pardon?
Go Gamblers. Yeah, JJ he's incredible. It's being part owner now of the Gamblers, Reve and I, my wife, is look, 2 years ago, if you told me, Ted, that we were going to have this amazing film that I would write and produce and star in a film with my wife, Reve, and a guy who's never kissed another woman in a movie get to kiss the woman in the end my way, because I finally get to have it. Reve is my woman that I kiss in the end of the film, and then be part owners of the Austin Gamblers. If you said this to me 2 years ago before I started writing this, I thought you would have been out of your mind. And here I am, tapped into what America stands for. That, we always forget in the Declaration of Independence, it mentions God, I believe, 4 times. And we forgot about God and country a lot. And it's something that I'm so proud of, being from immigrant parents from Ireland, to know what America is really about and what America's strengths are. And the strengths are its family, and what will you do to provide and protect your family. That's America. Those are the ideas of and the ideals of the heartland of America. And I think those ideals have been kind of cast to the side in choices of films that Hollywood has made for the last decade or two. It's either massive explosion, comic book films, which I've been part of, which can be fun, or really dark, strange, bizarre films, which I've been part of too as a villain. But it forgets the family, the whole family unit going to the cinema, sitting there and watching a film, not worrying about having to close or cover eyes or ears like at a rodeo event. It's very similar what the rodeo event stands for and what the Last Rodeo film stands for. It's all about family. Bring the whole family to go see the movie. Bring the whole family because you can, and you can talk about real issues after. Fractured families, what's going on with my daughter and myself, and how hard that relationship is. What do you have to do when you deal with your grandson having a brain tumor, the same thing that killed your wife? What are you prepared to do as a man to step up and provide and protect your family? That's what we talk about in this film. That's Americana. That's what America was built upon. And that we get to tap into that is such a blessing.
How did you get it to be part of this rodeo and PBR family? What was the entry point?
Well, 2 years ago, I was doing The Warrant, another Western, and I was driving home, and I hate being away from Reve and the kids. And I got gut punched, and I had to pull over to the side of the road. I got choked up with the thought that what would ever happen to me if something happened to Reve? And that's a hard pill to swallow. And there were horses in the field, and I was looking, and I say I'm a pretty smart guy, but I'm not this smart because I didn't know a ton about bull riding. Everyone knows bull riding, everyone knows PBR, but to really know the culture and know how great it is, I didn't know that much about it. And this idea came in my head, and I'm fairly certain it came from him above as a gift, saying, "Okay, write a film, Rocky on a bull, where this grandpa has to go back and save his grandson because he's dying of a brain tumor, the same thing that his wife died of." And on the side of the road for 2 hours, I voice dictated the outline of the whole film. And the next morning, I sent it off to my writing partner, and he was like, "What the heck is this? This is the departure from the Lee Marvin tough guy movies that we've been writing for the last couple of years, because this is you." And I'm like, "I know," and this is going to be awesome. And a week later, we had our first draft, and a week later, Reve and I raised the financing and found distribution. And 2 years later to the date, the movie's coming out. That never happens. That's a speed, Ted, that just doesn't happen in Hollywood. And now, like I said, 2 years later, our baby's about to come out. Everyone's loving this movie. It, really talks about the heartland of America. And I couldn't be prouder of the film, couldn't be prouder of being now part of the Austin Gamblers and part of this amazing culture that we're bringing Americana back to back to where it should be, right up in front. And I love that we're doing this, and I love that America is already just loving this movie. And if you really want to see more of these films, everyone out there who's listening, you got to support it by going and buying tickets. Even if you just buy one ticket, even if you don't go and you just buy one ticket on angel.com, that's sending a message to Hollywood that we need more films like this. Now, bring the whole family, buying 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 8 tickets. Now you're really sending a message. But all I'm asking is one ticket at a time. And if you buy tickets to this film, we can take down those bigger tentpole films and make Hollywood think, wow, these smaller, independent, faith-friendly films are commercial, they make money, and they're really good. And that's what we're doing right now. So please support this film.
And what's it going to take for this one to be successful, Neal?
Numbers wise?
On the movie, yeah. Like, what's it going to take to make it really be successful for you?
I don't know if
what needs to happen.
If people just have to show up. I'm not sure the number, but if to make an $8.5 million film, if this film makes $30-40 million in the box office, that's a massive hit. If it does more than that, then you're really sending a message we got to change the way the films are being made in Hollywood because I'm sick and tired of watching dark, crazy stuff that I can never bring my kids to. That's just me personally. You know, you can go to the animated movies and they're all well and good, but as a parent, I generally fall asleep, which is kind of fun. I can use a little nap every once in a while with 5 kids. You know, so I generally don't love going to those films, but those are the kind of the only films that I bring my kids to, or Ravane will bring the kids to, because they're the only ones that don't have strange messages. Now we get to bring the kids to the film to go see The Last Rodeo, and all the families out there who want to bring your kids to films, you have to worry about strange messages. Trust me, you're going to love The Last Rodeo, and if you don't love it, email me and I'll send you your money back. And that's not a joke. That's I know you're going to love this movie.
And so when you're making this movie, what was the research like? I'm assuming I saw that you've been at some PBR events, and I assume you've been to a couple rodeos and whatnot, but like we had a country music singer up here the other day. His name's Brett Kissel, and we talked to him on the show a couple times, and for some reason we got on the theme of bull riding. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get on a bull," and I was like, "Yeah, sure." Like, I believe you kind of, but I don't know if you're actually gonna do it. But then he actually did it like last week. He
It's
actually got on a
awesome.
bull. Yeah, and it was around a bunch of folks that we know and whatnot. But well, I wonder what the research that went into this film was, and what your experience of that was. I'm assuming you didn't maybe get on a bull, but maybe you did. I don't know.
Well, they wouldn't let me get on, other than in a shoot. They wouldn't let me ride bulls, but I got on bulls. But it wasn't the same as being out in the arena. But what they did for me is they put me on these. Sean Gleason, the CEO of PBR, has this machine he calls Robo Bull. So it's this mechanical bull that can move around with, it's got an engine in it, so you can just, like, with the gear stick, you can throttle, so you can move it all around the place.
We had one in college in New Mexico when I was there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this one was the meanest. I got the snot beaten out of me. I can't tell you how many hours and hours and hours and hours I spent on mechanical bulls, training up to this film while we're filming, daily getting my butt handed to me. And it's, if you think you can ride a mechanical bull really well when it's going at its highest speed, it's impossible. You can't, because with the real bulls, there's certain, when those hooves hit, that it's going to go in a certain direction, and when it's jumping, it's going a certain direction. When you're on a mechanical bull, it's just so tweaky that you can't get a rhythm on it, because it's just so, you get thrown off all the time. So I got my butt handed to me so many
You're falling on the ground on
times.
that thing. You're not falling you're not falling on a
No,
pad. You're falling on the ground off of
there is no
everything.
pad. There is no, or you're falling on the mount, which, getting thrown off and getting smashed onto the mount. And I'm a tough guy, and I don't like to show pain or weakness and stuff. And Captain Dale Dye, way back when I was doing Band of Brothers, brainwashed me into saying pain is just weakness leaving your body. So I kind of pride myself on the stupidity of my tolerance. And I broke a bunch of things. I got whooped and separated things, and but it was worth every single bit of it, because I didn't want any bull rider out there to think Neal didn't work very hard in this. He just kind of mailed it in. I worked my tail off to get in the best shape that I could be, the best physical shape that I could be, to look like a tough bull rider, but really just getting up on that thing and riding it as much as I possibly could. And Kyle Sherwood, who was a champion himself, really was my technical advisor throughout the whole film, with Buddy Joe Hooker, who's been a stunt coordinator for 40, 50 years of all the biggest films of all time. These two guys were really hard on me, and I said, be hard on me. I want you to beat me up. I want to look real. And they did a great job.
How are you feeling now? How long has it taken to recover from all the ass kickings?
Well, when you're in peak shape, as I was, and I'm still in great shape now, but I was in ridiculous shape for that, because when I ripped my shirt off in that scene, and the look on Daylon's face, like, oh, McDonough's in shape. Holy smokes, I get it. And all the guys were like, "With this 58-year-old guy's in better shape. He's got abs and he's ripped. And what the heck is going?" And that look, and I made sure that day when we were filming it, the camera was on those guys first, because when I rip off my shirt and I bite off the top of that Coke bottle, I spit it at them and say, "What are you drinking? Chocolate milk?" I wanted them to look at me and think, "Oh, this dude's serious," and it worked. So I'm very proud of how hard I worked. I took this one supplement that was just like, I liked it. I liked it so much that I bought part of the company. Reve and I did, and now it's called Flip My Life, and it worked. It helped me antioxidants, prebiotics, probiotics, super greens, all the proteins, all those great things, anti-inflammatories, and it made my body feel great. And I still take it every day. So I was getting beaten up during the show, but when you're in great condition, it doesn't hurt so much. When you're not in so great condition, it would have hurt a lot more. So I'm glad I had a great team around me to help me stay in that shape.
Well, and what was it like working with Daylon? This is his first, this would be his first probably actual acting role. How did that go? What was that like? I mean, we started watching the studio last night, and I found it to be kind of ridiculous, and I was getting anxiety watching and all the different things going on. I can't imagine the different amount of takes that would maybe happen, or maybe it was really easy. I don't know. I'm curious what that was like for Daylon.
When you said Dalen, play yourself, you know, and Dalen's such a sweet guy. He's like one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. So for him to play any edge to the character, it's so strange to watch because that's just not Dalen. So I said, just tap into the character. You're not you. You're not Daylon Swearingen. You're Billy Hamilton. And Billy Hamilton's got a massive chip on his shoulder. He's a good guy, but he's got a chip on his shoulder. But so does Joe Wainwright. So both of us have massive chips on our shoulders, and we're both going to give our all. And if we give our all every take, we're going to be magic on screen together. And he's like, oh, well, that's easy. And that's what he did. And he was, boy, Dalen was so good in the film. And especially as the film progresses, where he's such a sweet, nice guy in the beginning. And then he turns into kind of like, what are you doing here, old man? And starts digging, giving me some little digs. But 3/4 of the way through the film, you see on his face, this old dude's here to win. I better get serious here. And then by the end of the film, it's a great relationship between me and Dale and Billy Hamilton, and I can't wait for the next rodeo part, Last Rodeo Part 2, and we really dig into some more stuff.
Where does this film stack up for you? You've been in some major film and TV show. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, number one.
Oh, number
No,
one.
number one. Look, I've been in 150 movies and TV shows, and I've been so blessed to have had a career that I've had. Band of Brothers, I met my wife Reve on it. All those guys are still my best buddies, and worked for Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks. Then I worked for Clint Eastwood and Flags of Our Fathers. Then Justified or Yellowstone and Tulsa King now with Stallone. They're all amazing. They're all amazing. But once you write and produce and star in a film alongside your wife, and you get to kiss your wife in the movie as kind of honey, we finally made it. Yo, Adrian, we finally made. Yeah, that's the moment that I have in this film, and that's what this film is about for me. That if you work hard and you do the right things, great things will happen. If you know that you're doing it for him, and he always has your back. We're not always there for God, but when you're there for him, amazing things just happen. And here I am now about to open up my favorite film of all time, The Last Rodeo, and how blessed I am to be able to even say that. And I know it's because he's put it there for us, and it's so humbling to be here, Ted, and talk about all the success that's coming. And I don't take it for granted. I'm very grateful for exactly where I am right now, where my 2 feet are planted, because they're planted because he gave me this opportunity, and I don't want to let him down.
And what's the feedback been on the movie so far? You said everybody's been loving it. There's got to be some advanced screenings. The Monday in Texas during the PBR World Finals, we have the premiere just happened. Like, what's it been like so far? What's the community think of it so far?
It's been standing ovations every single time. It's been nuts. It's hard to believe. When you go to I've been to a bunch of premieres, and 3/4 of the way through, people are starting to leave, or when the credits start to roll, everyone's mass exodus. That hasn't happened in The Last Rodeo. Everyone's stuck in their seat because there's tears rolling down their cheeks, and they have to wait till the end credits before their eyes whiten up again and take a breath. And when the lights come up, it's just amazing. It's just an amazing feeling knowing that we made a film that gives glory to him, that is an entertaining film for families that the whole family can go to, which is what I've always wanted to do. And now we're actually doing it, Reve and I. What a blessing that is, and to have Angel Studios alongside with us. It's a pretty amazing journey that I've had, but it's all culminated into this moment. And again, I don't take it for granted.
Where can everyone find the film when it comes out on May 23rd?
Memorial Day weekend, it's going to be everywhere. We're on about 2,000 screens. Again, if you want to start seeing more films like this, you got to support it, guys. You got to go out to the theaters and actually buy tickets. Like I said, buy one ticket. It'll tell Hollywood we want to have more films that are like this. But if you actually go to the movie theater and you bring your kids and your family or anybody that, you'll leave the theater with this amazing feeling at the end in a movie that you can talk to your kids about and say, what did you think? How'd you feel about this? And you'll have a meaningful conversation with your own kids. And isn't that what cinema and art is supposed to be about? Art, you're supposed to look at the artwork and then afterwards have a conversation about that artwork. To me, The Last Rodeo is my greatest artwork. And people are going to have conversations about that artwork after. And I'm so excited to have a film out there that does and allows you to do exactly that. Have a family conversation after going to a great family film.
What about streaming? Is it streaming at all? I didn't hear that part. It might
No.
not be. It sounds like.
No. We're not streaming for a little while. It'll stream in a couple months on all the usual Amazons and this and Apple and whatever the case may be. And but right now, the only way to see it is go to the physical movie theater, buy your tickets, grab a popcorn and a Coke, and enjoy the heck out of The Last Rodeo.
Well, awesome. Well, I look forward to checking it out. I gotta ask quick, what's next for you after this deal? Like you gotta promote the heck out of this movie and hope it goes really awesome. Maybe you already kind of alluded to a sequel possibly, but what's the next project on the go?
Well, right now I'm still doing Tulsa King. That'll take me through till the end of the year. And then after that, we have two things. We have a TV series that we just set up with STX about a priest. And then the other one is the film that we wrote, The Wicked and the Righteous, which is Cain and Abel in the West, which is biblical, old school, tough as nails Western that I cannot wait to jump into. It's going to be a beautiful, epic film.
Well, I really appreciate you taking the time today, and thanks for the crew for getting this organized. But Neal, thanks so much. It's great to meet you. Thanks for the visit, and I wish you the best with The Last Rodeo. And I can't wait to watch it myself. Thank you. Thanks for doing this, though.
Awesome. Ted, my pleasure. God bless you, pal.
Appreciate you too.